locked up in the house pretty much on lockdown for the last year and a half, and how many meals is countless meals we've prepared. You cycle through the comfort food, you do some experimentation, you see a recipe on Facebook you try to do, something on the back of a box of mac and cheese that you own or something. Then you go through the standards, the weeknight standards, and then you realize you're back in that same food rut you get in and out of all the time. So maybe it's time to shake things up. Camille Stiles, she joins us. She's a lifestyle expert known for inspiring her audience to live their best lives by combining simplicity with everyday style. She's calling from one place on my bucket list we just talked about, Austin, Texas. Camille, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tom, and you've got to get yourself down to Austin if
Yeah.
you haven't been here yet.
Austin, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, two of my places on my bucket list I got to get to. Camille, let's start talking about the start of the pandemic. We were all elevating our at-home chef skills. I got the grill all cleaned up and everything. I was ready to go. We ventured out. Our schedules had gotten busier. Now that we've ventured out, though, we're back to work. Our schedules are busier. We're taking more meals on the run again. What are some of the ways you can tell us that you like to slow down and make dinner a bit more special? Because we're back to that rat race again almost.
That's right. It almost feels like things are busier than they were before the pandemic.
Yes.
But, one thing that I really want to carry with me from my time at home is just that sort of habit of using dinner time as an opportunity to slow things down, let it be kind of a transition between my workday and moving into a place that's more about enjoying the evening with my family and my friends. And I think getting in the kitchen and experimenting with some new flavors is the perfect way to do that, and even to have a little escape. I'm going to talk to you about a dish today that I have been making a lot that instantly transports me to Italy right in my own kitchen.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Tell us about what you're making today.
Okay, so I have made a skillet eggplant lasagna, and it's so named because it all comes together in one skillet, which makes for really easy prep, most importantly, super easy cleanup. I have 2 kids, I work full time, so even though I love to cook, I definitely need to rely on a few shortcuts that really help me maximize flavor and minimize my time. So one thing that I've done here that's made a huge difference is use a bit of a secret ingredient. I use Barilla's Vero Gusto sauce. This sauce, I use the Heritage Marinara, which uses Italian Daccharini tomatoes, and the Vero Gusto sauces are made using a sofrito. So slowly sauteed onion, garlic, carrots, all in extra virgin olive oil to build tons of flavor. It's really like they've done the work for me because I get that depth of flavor without having to start from scratch myself.
And you talk about quick ways to do things, because lasagna is one of those things. I love cooking Italian. I do it all the time. I like to think I do it well. The one thing I steer clear of is lasagna, because that's an all-day event. And you're talking about making it in a skillet and it not being an all-day event. I'm on board with that.
Sorry, Tom, I lost you for just a minute. Do you mind repeating that?
I said, when you talk about making lasagna in a skillet, lasagna is one of those all-day events to do. That's why I don't do it very much, because it's just such a full day. You work, you bake, you do the sauce, then you bake. For you to do it all in one skillet, all at one time, and with these shortcuts, that's a very good way to make a dish that a lot of people don't make just because it's such a pain in the neck to make.
Absolutely. I'm all about finding those ways to get the same level of flavor and enjoyment, but make things a little easier on myself. And one thing that I love about the Vero Gusto sauces is they have a really short ingredient list with nothing artificial. So garlic, Italian tomatoes, extra virgin olive oil, it's all really recognizable, high quality ingredients that I can feel really good about feeding to my family. And you can really taste the authenticity.
Are there other ways to use this same ingredient to give some pizzazz to other dishes that we cook on a regular basis?
Absolutely. The Vero Gusto sauces are super versatile, and they also come in a few different varieties. I use the Heritage Marinara here, It also comes in tomato basil, Calabrian marinara, Sicilian herb. So all different flavor profiles. They work wonderfully in a variety of pastas, of course, but I also love to use the Veragusto sauce as the base for my homemade pizza, which we make at our house all the time. I also have been doing a fun little recipe where I take the Veragusto sauce and brush it over the top of fish before I bake it. And it's truly a 2-ingredient dinner that my whole family goes crazy for. And one other thing that I've been loving lately is adding a bit of the sauce to a soup, and it instantly builds tons of great flavor in one ingredient where I don't have to chop up tons of things in order to create that depth of flavor.
But we're talking about skillet lasagna, and you're talking about homemade pizza. Is there something that can elevate our table a little bit more to make it more inviting? How can we do that without, getting deep into my pocket? I don't want to go buy fillets and have to get deep into my pocketbook. How can I bring my table up a little bit, but still not break the bank?
Oh, I love this topic because it really is all about just using a little bit of creativity to totally transform an everyday experience and make it something that feels special and celebratory with your family. So I usually start by getting inspired by the menu. So for this skillet eggplant lasagna, for me, that automatically says Italian night. So what I would do without really spending any money at all is light a few candles on the table. I'd pour myself a nice glass of Italian red wine to sip on while I cook, turn on some Italian music, which instantly just creates such a nice ambiance. And then I'd set a big wedge of Parmesan cheese on the table that we can just grate over everything and instantly feel like we've been transported to Italy. So again, it's really all about thinking about those sensory cues, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the flavors, and really just letting that bring the evening to life.
One of my wife's go-tos is baked ziti. And she makes me make the homemade sauce because I make sauce, and it's an all-day event where, I got you're stirring and you're cooking and the crushed tomatoes and everything. But this seems like that you have some ideas where we can do the same things, bring us right back to the thought of Italy without having to spend 10 to 12 hours cooking homemade sauce. Don't get me wrong, I love homemade sauce, but I also like not having to stand in front of the stove 10 hours.
Absolutely, and trust me, with the Veragusto sauce, people will think that you stood in front of the stove for 10 hours, but you were probably doing something a little more fun instead.
Where do we go to find out more information?
So you can find Veragusto sauce on Amazon, and be sure to follow at Veragusto sauce on Instagram for lots more cooking inspiration.
Camille Stiles, she joined us to try to get us out of our food rut. Camille, thanks so much for taking out time with us this morning.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
We'll be back after this short timeout. It is Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin's turn. It's in the garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. I'm gonna have to take her to task because I'm not happy with something, and she said that something would change, and I'm gonna have to take her to task. She may get busted down. She may lose her master stripes. You never know today. Stay tuned to that. Hey, if you were trying to reach us on the 622-9622 number, and it's just ringing and ringing, we're aware of that issue. We're working on that issue. Please, I've gotten now a seventh email to my email saying that the phone line's not working, that I'm not answering it. Stop ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you. The phone line's just not working right now, but we're working on it. We'll be back.
This is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's time for USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
A former Facebook